Are you familiar with what they have in mind for their Dizzy Bat challenge?
No.
So you do the Dizzy Bat. You have to run across your backyard, chug an adult beverage, and run back to the camera in under 2 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And if you don't, you have to do it again.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, they're lining up as qualifying ended, and the lineup tonight will be Patrick Gitter and Brian McCann on the front row, Kevin McCann, Otto Cruz on the second row, James Krause and Dean Webb the third row, Blair Patterson and Kevin Bernheimer are the fourth row, Chris Lockwood, Adam Rickey are the fifth row. Then 11th and 12th, Charles Joplin and Scotty Too Hottie. 13th is Caleb McCarthy, and 14th is Anthony Hooker, Bryant DeYoung, and Eric Steele, 15th and 16th. Matthew Wheeler and Anthony Karen, 17th and 18th. 19th is Andy Shaner, and 20th is Nowski himself, Matt Hughes. 21st is David Trumbley. Joshua King is 22nd. Dakota Broff is 23rd, and 24th is Rick Whitewell. 25th is Jim Dowman. Curtis, I'm not going to try and pronounce that last name, is 26th. 27th is DJ Powell, Justin Swafford 28th, and Stephen Hutchison 29th.
Was Curtis on the TDR side or the Pujanowskis?
I believe he is a TDR driver. I think he was a last-minute swap because I don't remember seeing his name earlier when we got the original list. So I think he must have been a last-minute swap. I'm double-checking my list, though.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Curtis as a first name from TDR. I was going to try to help you with the last name, but might not be able to.
Well, obviously Curtis's first time in this series, so huge shout out to him, and howdy to everybody out there who jumped in.
Yeah, as we get lined up here, they're getting ready to go green. Let's go ahead and get the corporate sponsor out of the way. Big shout out to Jeff McConey at McConey Setup Shop. Their setups, your victories.
Nice.
I try. I can't help but notice the McCanns are going to be lined up nose to tail there on the outside.
Yeah, that does not bode well for the rest of the field, does it?
How do you plan that? How do you make that happen every time?
I don't think. I think you just know that the two of you are going to be that close together, and yeah.
Well, like, does one guy say, okay, lift 20 yards outside the line, and you'll be 0.2 slower? Like, they do this a lot.
Yeah, they really do. I think they're both just so fast, they always know they're both going to be on the front row. Pace car is in, green flag in the air, and off into turn one they go. And there is a little bit of kink out of the front straightaway as you get down into turn one. Bottom line is preferred here, and off through turn one, mid-pack, a little bit of three-wide racing.
Yeah, a little bit of banking on that tri-oval, too. You get down to 8 degrees right there at the start-finish line, so I'd expect to see maybe a little bit of slippage as they keep coming by there.
No surprise to see that the McCanns have, Kevin McCann's still got a battle going on here with Patrick Gitter at the front. And Gitter actually stays between the McCanns.
Ooh, that could be a big play out for later on in the race.
If he can stay there, that would definitely hurt that little group there. Those two not being together, being able to work together is definitely a hindrance to their team. And looking through the field, after just a couple of laps, Anthony Karen is already up 6 spots from 18th to 12th, and right behind him, Pudge is on the move, started 20th up to 13th.
Yeah, if this was a regular TDR league, there would be a couple guys out there fighting for that hard charger award we give out every race.
Well, DJ Powell, I think, would have him beat. He is up from 27th to 18th right now. Several cars starting to make their way forward, and a few cars slipping back a few spots. And I'm thinking guys like Bryant DeYoung, who has slipped back several spots, I'm willing to bet on this abrasive track that is a tire-saving move.
I don't think you're wrong. I happen to notice, maybe my telemetry is wrong, but it looks like Kayla McCarthy's 2 laps down. Oh, no, never mind. Her time came back. She's on the lead lap.
Yeah, but she is at the tail end. Not sure what happened with her on the start, but she has dropped 16 spots already. So she's got to be hoping for a caution. But Kentucky, once you get a couple laps in, it is known for staying green flag.
Yeah, and just to point out too, with Kayla McCarthy being on the tail end, Team Nowski again had a driver who wasn't able to make it tonight. So basically, TDR has a free driver to drop. We're only going to score the top 14 from each team tonight.
Yep. And now the McCanns have cleared Otto and everybody else. It looks like Patrick Gitter got too high coming through one of the turns, and he is starting to go backwards. Don't think he would have burned his tires completely up. No, he is dropping back down. He must have just slipped, but here he comes. Looks like he is going to be fighting back there in the Home Depot car.
Yeah, I think as early on as we are and as tight as they were up front, it might just be a loss of momentum. Hopefully he doesn't have too big a wrinkle in that fender, because the aero package can come into play here at this 1.5 miles.
Caution is out. I'm not seeing what it's for yet, but let's see if we can look towards the back of the field and see. Not seeing an alert for anything either.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on my screen, but I'll tell you, I'm sure Gitter's happy about it right now. He can probably get a teammate to check out that front end and come in and get some repairs if he needs them.
Yeah, and it definitely benefits Kayla McCarthy. Now she's going to be able to stay on the lead lap. She'll be right back on the back bumper of or right back at the back of the pack, but she'll be able to work her way up very quickly. As we saw her work her way through the field at Phoenix pretty efficiently, I would imagine we're going to see her marching back towards the front. She was obviously fast to have qualified where she did.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned before, in the TDR Ladies Night event, I mean, she was right up there in the top 4 all night long.
And DJ Powell, another driver on the move, started 27th up to 17th, so up 10 spots. And the entire front of the field is going to go ahead and come to pit road. Looking to see, Adam Rickey is the only one staying out right now.
That rebel.
Everybody else literally has come to pit road all the way back through the field. Even though we're only 7 laps in, this track a lot like a Dover, where it just eats the tires up.
Yeah, and Adam Rickey, he's the one that's really good at tire management. However, he is lumped into Team 3 on the TDR communication channels, and I'm wondering if that might have been a lack of communication or just Adam really channeling that rogue spirit he has.
Well, it could definitely benefit him. I mean, he started in 10th, and if he can hold on until he needs to get tires, if he can hold on to even a top 5 position, it definitely put him on a better strategy long run. But short term, if he cannot keep the speed up, he's going to get 8 alive.
Well, and points are points, and you look at it, I bet a lot of guys came in there thinking, okay, we pit now, we should be able to, make it to the end. Well, Adam's still going to have to pit for fuel.
This is true. 70% fuel load.
If nobody else comes down, he's kind of back to square one or worse.
This is true. However, not seeing a caution, they got stretched out very quickly. No cars were wrecked at all. But they're all packed back up, and the way they went those first 2 laps, it would not surprise me. The old adage, cautions do breed cautions here.
Absolutely, and as they're coming around, I see a lot of back barbecue cars running up there in that top 10.
Are they delivering? I'm kind of hungry.
I think that company has to work on their product rollout before delivery becomes viable.
I gotcha. And looks like Adam Rickey will be up front. The McCann second and third. Otto is 4th. James is 5th. Patrick Gitter is still in 6th. Dean Webb is 7th. Blair Patterson now being scored in 7th. Kevin Bernheimer and Chris Lockwood 9th and 10th.
Yeah, good to see that Gitter didn't end up falling too back from that brush with the wall. I assume he got some repairs when he went into pit, and I expect him to bring that speed back that we saw early on.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, just looking down the back straightaway there, you can definitely see, as of right now, TDR definitely having the advantage on track.
Yeah, it's they're looking good out there. I'm very proud of my TVR boys.
Well,
Impartially.
impartially. Well, impartially, they needed to. They need to have a good run here tonight to start closing up that 50-point deficit as the pace car drops off. Nope, not yet. Almost there. Now the pace car's off.
Here we go again.
Waiting for the green. Green flag in the air, and the top three, Adam, Ricky, then the McCanns are off. And it looks like Adam actually got a really good launch. He's going to lose those spots to the McCanns, but as they go through 1 and 2, he's holding on at least for the moment. If he can hang in their draft and kind of keep his position there, you never know how this might play out.
Yeah, you and I both know and recognize the brothers McCann are some of the fastest guys in iRacing. They're the quote aliens, as we call them in the community. If anybody can run with them, it's Adam Ricky. He's one of the guys that's you're gonna watch out for him. He's gonna be up there one day.
Joshua King has picked up, it looks like 11th spot since the start. He has gone from 22nd now to 11th and continuing to march forward for the Nowski Nation. He's another one we'll have to watch closely. I don't believe he's been in one of these in this series yet, but definitely one to watch if he continues.
A lot of Pujanowski guys really gunning for that hard charger. Well, we're not doing the hard charger award, but they're really good at starting 10 positions back and gaining those within a few laps and getting back up there and shaking the points up a little bit.
And that's kind of what they need at this point in time, as a lot of great racing going on a little further back, trying to find some of the best races on track. Pudge obviously has picked up a ton of spots. He is now up to 13th and trying to get around his teammate Joshua King right now.
Yeah, and I see Gitter breaking back into the top 3 up there.
Oh, Gitter is, as Ricky is falling back just a little bit on those older tires. You see the difference that just 7 or 8 laps on tires makes. And Blair Patterson went through the infield. Caution is out. Let's see what happened here.
Well, I don't know what everybody's going to do, but I'll tell you what I would do if I was Adam Ricky. I'd come get my tires.
Yep, looks like the 03 did not know the 9 was down there. Several cars get caught in that mess. Blair Patterson really got hurt on that one.
Yeah. Who was that got, when the cars come back up here, who was that yellow car? Yellow numbers. I didn't get a good look at him.
I think that might have been Otto. Well, Otto Cruz is the one that got together with them.
Yeah.
And I think,
I still couldn't see it.
Pudge got caught. That's who we were seeing come through there.
And,
Yep, Pudge goes flying and spins.
Yeah.
He kind of stuck the landing on it. I mean, I want to give him a 7.2 on that, but.
Well, fortunately, these guys should still have their quick repairs. We're under yellow. They'll start at the tail end, and hopefully Otto and Pudge can get back, because those are 2 huge players for this team. Well, one guy's name is on this race, right?
Exactly.
and the other guy brings a lot of speed for the team, so hopefully they can get in there, get repaired, get back out, and stay competitive through the event.
Looks like Matt Wheeler, I think he might have caught Pudge as Pudge was flying. Do not have a good replay of that, but looked like he may have had some problems as well, so we'll have to wait and see. Adam Ricky did come to pit road along with, looks like Bryant DeYoung, Andy Shaner, Blair Patterson, Dakota Bruff, Steven Hutchison, a lot.
I know personally when I'm racing, I have a general rule of thumb. If I'm in the top 10, I'll pit with the leaders. If nobody pits, I don't. If I'm outside the top 10, I pit every time. I'd rather be the first car outside the top 10 coming down pit road than not having the tires and fuel I need to get to the end.
Especially at a track like this where you're going to be wearing the tires out. You don't know, because this track does have the history of, hey, once it has a few laps green, it's going to stay green. Once that, on those kind of tracks, you definitely want to get tires at every opportunity.
Oh yeah, once those tires fall off, you're not so much fighting the car as you are, it won't drive anymore. It has too much push in the front end, and that's when all the cars get spread out, because everyone's just trying to take care of their stuff, and this thing could go green to the end, theoretically.
It very well could, and the problem that with the Adam Rickey does have an advantage having the fresh tires over some of these other guys, and he was undamaged. But the problem with Kentucky being it is abrasive on the tires. The entry to turn 3 is just so tricky. And if you mess up that entry by even a couple of percentage, you're just a little bit off and you're not going to have a line. You're either going to end up really, really slow or really, really in the wall.
Well, like you said, Adam does have the advantage of fresh rubber, but I think starting as far back as he's going to be from pitting, you have to drive it so hard to make that climb through the field. By the time he gets there, he'll be at the same level or worse off on tires than the guys that are running up front.
Yeah, and the thing you have here too is you're not talking about where you're in a public race where you might get a couple of really good guys and then a couple of really crap guys and then a bunch of guys in between. You're talking about some of the best on iRacing out here. And some of these guys, real-world drivers, I mean, you're talking about some great guys. You're not going to be able to just storm through the field like you would in a public race. These guys, he's got a long way to come.
I just had a thought, and I'm not familiar with whether or not we can do this and host a race, but can we calculate a strength of field in a hosted event?
Yes.
We need to start doing that before the broadcast. Because these guys are the McCanns, Adam Rickey, Otto Cruz, Pudge Nowski, Blair Patterson. I mean, these are some of the fastest guys on the service.
This is true. I mean, you got guys like Kevin Bernheimer, Scotty Too Hottie out there as well. They really high I rating guys as they get ready to go green that are out here battling for every inch of this track.
Here we go again, third green flag.
And no surprise, Brian McCann off like a shot, and it looked like his brother actually gave him the room there. Not surprised, obviously a little coordinated. We've got one car coming up off pit road. That is Matt Wheeler. And a little further back, Josh King and DJ Powell now into the top 10.
Good for them. Good for them. I want to see some more Pujanowski guys get up there. I want this to be interesting. I don't want to know who's winning this race, team versus team, until the end of it. That's the kind of racing I show up for.
Yeah, and you know, a couple of these races we've not known till the next day. It's been that close.
Yeah, every one of these races, even with some of the higher tensions we've had in some of the previous events, each one of these has been tremendously exciting. I think maybe the first one was like we knew who won. But since that first race, I mean, it's been super exciting racing to watch.
And it looks like Scott Snodgrass just had a little bit of a problem there. Stuck up in the wall on the high side.
Car up in the wall.
That is Scotty Too Hottie. And Kayla McCarthy is coming through the field. She is now back up into the top 20. She's in 19th place. And you know what? We haven't ridden around the track with anybody. Let's ride with Kayla.
Absolutely. Painting the track pink, as they say. She's drawing a line right through all these cars right now. Yeah, I wondered, she must have come in for tires on that last yellow.
I think she probably did. Probably a smart move on her part. As she comes through 3 and 4, you can see there's 3 wide on exit, but she has nobody to the high side. She can drift up and carry that momentum. There is multiple lines through turn 3, but turn 1, there's about one good line, and she is planted on it as she gets down there and gets the right sides on that little patch.
Yeah, and if you notice the tape on her steering wheel too, the line she's running is absolutely perfect. She's not abusing the tires, she's not tearing them up, she's using the draft of the cars ahead of her a little bit to gain some room, as she slides up a little bit while I'm talking about it. But doing a really good job running that line and saving those tires.
We call that the broadcaster curse. Anytime you look at you ride along with somebody, they tend to have a problem. I probably should have picked somebody else to ride with.
Well, it's not just a broadcaster's curse. It's always a viewer curse. Because Becky just said something about, it's the gator on his car, what's wrong with Scotty? And then Scotty was in the wall. So, quit talking about Scotty, Becky.
Scotty now back in 24th, but I know Scott, and there's one thing. If he gets fresh tires, he will come charging to the front, and I think his weakest point has always been conserving tires on a track like this. And talking to him over the last few weeks, he's gotten so much better at it. And I mentioned it a couple of races into the season. He's gotten better at being patient, and his I rating definitely shows.
Yeah, that's something I've learned from Adam Rickey, actually, is that on tracks like this, like, and Dover especially, tracks that are really hard on tires, it's a fine line between saving tires and being fast.
It definitely is. Now, a couple of these guys that came through the field, Patrick Gitter now back into third, but DJ Powell and Justin Swafford both have picked up 15. Actually, they both picked up 19 spots. DJ in 8th, Swafford in 9th. Both of them up almost 20 positions. Some of those were caught on pit road, and some of those have just been driving through the field. These guys, if I were the McCanns, I might be a little bit worried about this pair.
Yeah, they're definitely on the move. Are you familiar with these names? Are these regular drivers over on the Nowski stable?
I know DJ Powell is fast. I've seen him in other leagues, but Swafford I'm not real familiar with.
Well, could be the wild card in here to shake the points up for us towards the end of this event.
It could very well be. And now that we're so many laps into this thing and it is staying green, it is in all likelihood, there's a very real possibility it could go green from here, and that could make things really, really interesting for everybody on the track.
Yeah, as the tires fall off, like you and I talked about, they're going to have to come at least one time for fuel, and I think at this point everyone should be okay on the gas situation, but how important are tires going to be going another 30 laps, 40 laps? When these cars start getting a little loose, we may even see a green flag pit stop for tires if the drivers get frustrated with it.
Well, here's the interesting stat. They've been out there not very long since that last pit stop, and the McCanns have already lost a second off their time. So everybody's already lost about a second since the last pit stop. So definitely tires wear for everybody fairly consistently, and Patrick Gitter seems to have got something figured out, because he is actually closing in on Brian McCann and has challenged him a couple times. So obviously he has something working to save tires here.
Well, I've noticed as the gap has opened up between Brian and his brother Kevin running in first, as Brian's fallen back, Gitter's now getting a little bit of that clean air as he's getting into the draft behind Brian there.
And another car starting to charge forward, Dean Webb, to the inside, looking for fourth place here on James Krause. Hasn't been able to get there yet, but he's another driver starting to move forward. We'll see if his tires fall off earlier. You can really trying to get past guys running side by side like they are now. Really, really tricky. Plus, as they burn fuel off, the car gets lighter in the back end, tighter in the nose, harder to turn.
Yeah, and big shout out to James Krause. He just signed up with Back Row Sim Racing this week. This guy has a lot of speed. He's a live streamer. He is, I believe it's slightly below mediocre esports. It's his broadcasting name. But not only iRacing, he does something called Swift. Have you ever seen Swift, like Swift with a Z?
No.
It is road course bicycle racing. He has a bicycle simulator in his house.
Oh. Where was that when I was racing bicycles? Oh, wait a minute. That was in the 90s. Never mind.
But yeah, tune into him. Slightly below mediocre esports. It's really interesting to watch him ride the bicycle. I honestly like watching that more than watching him win races.
Now I have to wonder, did he create his channel after mine? Is he trying to steal off the greatness?
We'll have to check after the broadcast.
There is definitely partnership opportunities there.
We have one young man in the TDR community, and I don't know how long ago he started his page, but he is right below average esports or something along those lines.
Oh, wow. Swafford and Powell are swapping positions, but they are now up to 7th and 8th. So these two guys continue to charge forward. And the 03 of Otto Cruz, we saw him involved in that last incident with Pujanowski. Now back up to 9th, and we haven't really talked about Matt since that incident. He is actually being scored one lap down in 25th now.
Yeah, and I see a lot less flame-broiled hoods up there in the top 10 now.
And caution is out. Let's see if we can find out why.
You know who wanted this caution? Everybody but us.
But you know what? I'm thinking this might have been an admin thrown caution because I am not seeing anything that happened on track other than a couple of passes as DJ Powell got a pass over a couple of people. There was no incidents on track, so I'm wondering if take a look at one more thing here, but I'm wondering if the admins threw a caution for one reason or another.
Yeah, I feel like this is the second time. I feel like that first caution, I didn't see an active incident that would have warranted the yellow. I wonder if maybe the race control and some of the drivers are having some communications we're not privy to that are causing these yellows to come out.
There was that glitch. There's been a couple of glitches in it. Jeremy Edwards piped in and said, oh my gosh, no way, someone is close to the McCanns. Yes, Patrick Gitter has been giving the McCanns a run for their money tonight. And Jason Coleman saying hi to both of us. So, hey, Jason. And it is weird to see somebody up there, but, there's a lot of weirdness going on recently. There was a glitch the other day that would cause, if you got an EOL penalty for, say, speeding on pit road in the very first pit stop of the night, you would be getting that penalty for the rest of the race. Because
really?
That was the glitch, is that if you got an end-of-line penalty, you got it for the remainder of that session. And it caused impact to a lot of league races. One dirt league I broadcasted on Monday night, it caused utter chaos. And that was the first race of their season, so obviously a little frustration there. But, yeah, it's definitely been a bit of an interesting week.
Well, we all know that when iRacing comes out with a new season, or like I know a big update came through last week. These things happen. They tend to work the glitches out through some update patches after these updates, and everyone wants to complain. In iRacing's defense, this is a big thing they do. It is so hard to come up with all the code and all the software to make the physics work and all this. So, like when there's small glitches, while they're annoying, deal with it. Stop complaining about it.
You can go back. You can go back through my Facebook page. As somebody who spent 15 years in IT, I can tell you that the glitches that they have are relatively minor compared to some stuff that I've seen released.
Oh yeah. In TDR. So in TDR, we were very big on like not berating other drivers' mistakes. Having a good, clean, respectful environment for everyone to come race and enjoy the experience. We consider these little glitches like the equivalent of mechanical failure in a car. Like if you net coded and touched a tire on the inside, well, you broke a sway arm or something. It's amazing what iRacing does, and I just can't stand the guys that complain all the time.
Well, it definitely. I mean, there's always going to be some frustration. Everybody gets frustrated, but
of course,
from iRacing's point of view, and I actually have a couple of times. When I've seen complaints about it, I sent iRacing a pretty long list of suggestions that they could do with their releases to help smooth things out, and actually got a couple of replies from iRacing support like, hey, that's a great idea, and thanks for letting us know that we weren't aware of this tool and things like that. So, yeah, the more positive you can be, and you can help or you can hurt the community, and obviously TDR helps. And speaking of TDR helping, I finally got to race with Tyler Daniels the other day.
You did? How was it?
Well, we ended up in practice session together, and then I think he has a higher I rating than I do.
Well, he is a sponsored Makoni driver, so if you're not in the top split, you're not likely to see him in your feature.
Well, we were on road, and I am never in the top split in a road race. But it was really good to get to talk to him. I had a bunch of the guys from other leagues with me, and so everybody just got to give him a shout out. And I told him, hey, I told him who he was and everything, and it was great to be able to. It's great to be able to give him some encouragement. I know he has had some frustration in recent weeks, so I was really glad to be able to get a moment with him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We were supposed to interview him before this race, but he's actually feeling a little under the weather. It's interesting to see the little bit of celebrity that he's gotten from this league that kind of came around him. So we actually had a new member maybe a month or so ago. He makes a post in the TDR group. Hey, I raced with Tyler Daniels, and posts a screenshot, but it was Tyler Daniels 5. And we're like, no, that's not the real Tyler Daniels.
Well, you know what? Somebody should record a song. Will the real Tyler Daniels please stand up?
Oh, don't tempt me.
And now we expect that 2 weeks from now for the next race.
Nope, not gonna happen. Maybe.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Looks like the pace car is in, and it looks like the McCann strategy is going to put Kevin out front this time as they get the green.
Yeah, as we go green again, good shakeup in the front top 10 there. See a good mix of TDR and Nowski drivers.
Yeah, it looks like Patrick Gitter is still holding on to third. Dean Webb is now up to fourth. Chris Lockwood up to fifth. Justin Swafford up 22 spots to sixth. You know what? Got the green flag. Let's just try and run through the field here. So we got Kevin McCann up front with Brian McCann currently in second, and Brian has a picture of Dale. Patrick Gitter is running in third. Dean Webb is currently fourth, and Chris Lockwood, caution is out, and it looks like it might have. Now let's see if we can figure out where this started, because there were several incidents all at once. The 52 gets loose coming off turn 4. There is another car already loose to the infield, and they get together on pit road. Looks
Can't
like
help but feel that was related.
Yeah, Eric Steele might have been where this started with the
Yeah, there was another car going through the grass as that smoker was going down pit lane.
There was about 3 cars that got loose up off of 4 that time by, and looks like Dakota Bruff, Eric Steele, and Adam Rickey, all 3, and then Charles Joplin, I believe, got tried to check up on the front straightaway, does a complete 360, almost completely saved it, and then lost it again. But great job by everybody that was right there. For the most part, that could have been a big one at Daytona, the way that was looking. But guys did a great job.
Man, that Miller Genuine Draft 89, that was almost perfect.
It was. That's Charles Joplin, and yeah, that was a beautiful. He had it corrected for a minute. I think his mistake was, I think he probably got back on the gas a little too soon trying to save it, and just it turned it back to the right.
I was in a late model official race probably 2 or 3 evenings ago. I had a perfect double 360, snapped it in a second, caught grip. I lost 1 position on 2 spins. It was beautiful.
And you always save those replays, don't you?
Oh, yes, I did.
I actually have a funny replay. Scott and I running Pro 4s at Wild Horse one night.
Yeah.
And it was either right before we went into the race session during practice or right after the race was over, and he was chasing me around the track, and I went off one of the big jumps, but as soon as I went off, I hit the brakes, stopped on the track, got myself kicked sideways so that he had to jump over me. And I've posted pictures of it in the past. It was just comical. You know, Scott comes over the top and he's like, "Where'd you go?" I'm like, "Look down."
See, I'm notorious with Tyler Daniels racing. Oftentimes with work, I don't make it home for league races all the time. So I will host these random races. So I'll get home 8, 9 in the evening, wait for the league to be over, and be like, who wants to go race tonight? And I've been doing these things called Pick Your Poison. We're all like Pro Light 4s and Miatas at, I don't know, Silverstone.
Those are some of the most... we have a Friday night fun league where we do stuff like that. It's no points, no feelings allowed.
Yeah, just having fun, man. Good racing. No one knows what the outcome's going to be. Like, I don't test this stuff out. It's like, pick your poison. You want to run the Miata or the truck? Here we go.
One of my setup builders, since we do free setups, one of our setup builders, Jared Heasley, came up with the idea tonight to do the super late models at Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Oof.
cars are not built for Daytona. I can tell you that. It is very hard to tune a car to run that car to run at Daytona. But once you get in a pack with them, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Over at Tyler Daniels Racing, we do an annual iRock series that starts in the fall and runs through basically Christmas. We do it in the super late models, and I mean, I've a lot of experience driving that car. I would not want to drive that car at Daytona.
No, you really don't. But I do
I
have
don't
a
care who. I don't care who built the setup.
I do have a setup that actually works, and you won't die too often in it. So,
Send it over to me, and I'll bring it up to the iRock board and see if we can't get it as the final event.
speaking of the IROC, your IROC champ is not here tonight.
No. Well, what TDR has tried to do with their team is, again, the group is about being all inclusive, so we want to include as many drivers as we can. So every week we kind of see who's ran, who hasn't ran. Obviously, we want to put some fast guys in there, but we try to sprinkle it out. Sometimes we'll pull one of our ringers and let somebody else in who's a big part of the community that might not have all the speed all the time, but we want them to be out here representing Tyler Daniels Racing as well.
Well, that is definitely awesome, and it has been a great variety of drivers from both groups. Really, we're seeing a usual 5 to 10 for each group, but then there's always 5 or more new ones in every race from both groups. And like you said, it comes down to right now, this time of year, getting a group of people together during the early part of summer can be a little tricky, but got 15 for each team out there every other week.
Yeah, especially with the economy reopening, people going to the beach, whatever they're doing on the summer. A lot of guys are trying to enjoy the good weather, the freedom, etc. So we're just we're blessed to have as many people as we do on track every night. Pardon that belch.
There you go, Becky. There's the Tommy thing for tonight.
See, normally when I have to expel gas from my mouth, I'll throw my microphone up, which will cut me off. But I was mid sentence during that one. So.
It does happen, unfortunately. All right, they're lined back up, and it is the McCanns up front. Patrick Gitter in third. Dean Webb is fourth, and then Lockwood and Swafford are on the third row. Otto Cruz now up to seventh, and Anthony Karen is in eighth.
Well, with a handful of laps to go, what's your over-under on the next yellow flag?
Most of the field went in and got tires. I'm going to say 3 laps.
Yep, I agree.
Looks like they've decided Kevin is faster, so they let him get the start, and Brian is acting as the buffer to Gitter. And a lot of two-wide racing a little further back is Chris Lockwood making a move towards the front, and Otto Cruz as well picking up position.
Yeah, Caleb McCarthy now breaking the top 10, riding back there in 9th.
Yeah, she is just, for somebody that started that far back, have some sort of an issue, and is now all the way up in the top 10. She's been working her way through very, very intelligently and very, very quickly. I'm glad I don't have to race her.
I was going to say, I'm a firm believer on and off the track. Hard work pays off.
Very true. And I will say, unfortunately, on oval, my daughter is faster in an SR8 than I am. So the women often tend to be the faster of the group.
Well, my mother always told me if I have nothing nice to say. I had a really good insult lined up for you there, Doug. But
well.
I'm going to save that one for when we're off the air.
Justin Swafford is now up to 5th and continues to march, but not only that, he is less than a second from the leader.
Yeah, and you see Gitter up there really keeping pressure on these two as he moves to the inside of one of the McCanns. Oh, and falls back behind them.
Yeah, and that is Brian McCann in second. He's been to the inside a couple of times, can't get anything done with him. Blair Patterson, involved in one of the earlier incidents, is now back up into 8th position, and we haven't taken a look, but Pudge back to the lead lap in 16th currently.
Good for him, fighting his way back up there. Now, I noticed that Gitter, he appears to be a Tony Stewart fan, rocking that orange number 20. Do you think we can interview him? Because he's one of the guys I want to talk to. Being able to put the pressure on the McCanns, I feel like he has something that the other racers out there want to hear.
I definitely agree. He's definitely got these things figured out. And you know, it's funny that using the ARCA cars. Obviously, we've changed cars pretty much every week, but using these ARCA cars does make it interesting because most people, when they come out of rookie oval, they move straight into the ARCA cars. Some people will move to a mod, but most of the people move to the ARCA cars. And you either have a love or a hate relationship with the ARCA cars, and you continue running them throughout the rest of your time on iRacing, or you never run them again. He appears to be one that loves this car.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence with ARCA. I run it on a there's something about it I don't like. I'm in the hate camp. Like, I love late models. I like cars that kind of get the rear end loose. I like fighting the car a little bit. ARCAs are that way, but I just don't like them.
Well, me, I've driven a real NASCAR back in 01, excuse me. So it was basically that generation of car. And
right.
I drove the Papyrus Racing Sims back then. So so I do not drive the ARCA nearly as much as I wish I did. I'm finding it's hard to find time with all the other stuff that I do, but yeah, I just absolutely love driving the ARCA cars.
Yeah, it's a car that requires a certain amount of finesse. Like the late models, when they start to get loose, you can kind of get off the gas and fight it back. The ARCAs, when they start getting loose, they're really gone. You have to really be dialed in on entry.
Oh yeah, you definitely do. They can be a handful. If you got them right, they're great, and if you get them wrong, you're crashing.
They're very wrong. Yes.
Another driver just noticed coming through the field is the number 13 of Stephen Hutchison. He actually got clipped a little bit in one of the first incidents and has managed to work his way back up. He's up 16 spots. So, and he's got DJ Powell right there behind him as well. DJ slipping back to about 14th, but still up 13 spots.
Yeah, good for Hutchinson. I believe he is actually the fill-in for the TDR 2020 iRock champion tonight.
Oh, well, there you have it. He borrowed some of that speed, apparently.
Right. Lucas is very generous. He hands out speed left and right. Spend some time with him. I guarantee you'll get faster.
I have spent time with him. I didn't get faster. I just got beat all the time.
Well, but you got beat faster.
Yeah, I did get beat faster. You need to ask next time you're talking to Lucas. Ask him about the incident at Indy.
Incident at Indy. Let me find a pen.
Lucas
is one of the most fun. I wish we could interview him one night. He is one of the most fun drivers to talk to. His personality is off the charts, and I absolutely want to ask him about whatever you're talking about.
You can actually find it on my YouTube channel. You just have to look for shoot, I can't remember. I'll actually just post the video to Facebook later. I'll go find it. It was in another league that drove Cup, Xfinity, and Truck on track at the same time, and a restart at Indy did not. Most restarts went really well. That one didn't. In fact, there was a couple of guys that ended up in the stands.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite TDR one-off events we did. So you remember the iRacing Super Speedway, how big of a deal that was when it came out?
Yes.
We did custom setups, ARCA, the new F1 car, and trucks. Three classes of racing. And it was like the ARCA cars were in their little pack, the trucks were in their little pack, and like when the Indy cars came by, it was like the Blue Angels flyover. Like,
yeah, but when
most packs would get over and let the Indy car just.
Yeah, and when you're in the truck, you cannot see the Indy car until you. It's very, very interesting. I've done the Indy car versus truck and Cup at that track, and you just can't see them till they're right there.
What's funny is I was in the ARCA car for that race. I'm 4 wide. No, we were 5 wide. All the ARCA cars spread out, and I was nose ahead coming to that line. I thought I won. I was a lap down.
Oh, no.
I thought I had won it. I was cheering. I was about to do my burnout.
Speaking of doing burnouts, Kayla McCarthy now up to 6, closing in on 5th place Dean Webb.
How about that? I wonder, I mentioned earlier when we were riding along with her, that line she's driving, she's doing a really good job of saving these tires. Those tires might make the difference at the end here.
They could very well. Justin Swafford, however, has dropped back to 10th. Does not have the same speed he had earlier. I mean, he's still up 18 spots. He's got Stephen Hutchison and DJ Powell right there with him as well. And getting a little bit chaotic at places on the track as we watch James Krause, Otto Cruz, and Blair Patterson. That is
3 wide.
7th, 8th, and 9th, and 3 wide through 3 and 4. It's okay. 3 wide through 1 and 2, not necessarily a great idea.
Well, they made it work out.
Yeah. A little bit worn tires. Everybody was a little bit more cautious there, but man, they were getting a little bit sketchy.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed this race, as they go 3 wide again here, it looks like you've done a really good job of calling out these hard chargers that are coming up through the pack, but what's the payoff? What's the risk for running through the pack? It's wearing your tires out prematurely, right? So as you see these guys that have gained the 15, 20 spots from the restart, they're the ones that start to fall back. Then you have drivers like Kayla McCarthy, Matthew Wheeler, or not Matthew Wheeler, what's his name? Hutchinson. You see them kind of coming back through the pack because they've been able to save their tires throughout the race.
Yep, and another mention on Kayla and Chris Lockwood. Both have picked up several spots. Kayla now up into 5th. So she is definitely charging to the front here, and truly it's a really impressive drive out of anybody considering where she started at.
Well, and again, Chris Lockwood from Tripod Esports, they're looking for a third driver. Kayla McCarthy might be it.
It could very well. That would be a good choice for them. Although you said they're looking for somebody who crashes really well. I'm good at that.
I'm fairly certain that was said in jest. I'm pretty sure that they need someone who's actually going to win.
Oh, well, then no, I would be
kind of the whole point.
I didn't get the name How to Suck at iRacing for nothing. Meanwhile, the McCanns are out front. Kevin and Brian about a second apart. Patrick now 2.1 seconds back, and with 10 laps to go, I don't believe we're going to... Would anybody try a pit stop here? I mean, they're going to lose probably 1.5 laps here. It's a little bit too late to try a bold strategy move.
No, you ride it out. If we do see a yellow, some cars will come. Maybe even everybody, but if it stays green, no, there's no need to come in.
I guarantee if we see a yellow, everybody's coming down pit road. But for this one, I just don't see a green flag stop here. DJ Powell is now battling Steve Hutchison, and he is back up into 10th and starting to move forward just a little bit more again. But Stephen Hutchison, you mentioned it, he did not come through the field as quickly. And, they touch into one. Oh, DJ is in the wall. He manages to get by. He did not get sucked into the safer barrier. These safer barriers, some cars and some of the safer barrier some of the tracks, the safer barrier, it's just like glue. You just stick.
I swear, especially at Homestead, they put magnets in them.
Oh yeah, they actually have a Doug magnet at Homestead.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's on the exit of turn 2, and it will grab me every time.
They've got an upside-down Hebert magnet as well.
DJ manages to recover there. He lost about 0.7 of a second on Hutchison, and it looked like Hutchison just drifted up a little bit. But now, in 13th, Pudge has picked up the pace just a little bit. He is now up into 13th.
Well, and knowing Pudge and how he races, I guarantee he's been saving. He's been waiting for this. He thinks he has a little more than everybody else has, and he's going to try to make his charge right now with 9 to go.
Yeah.
8 to go.
And Scott has actually dropped back to 12th, which kind of, I've raced him here, and he's really strong at this track. I'm a little bit surprised to see Scott that far back, but obviously he's had some struggles earlier in the race.
Yeah, and I'm surprised a lot of TDR names sitting in the back, too. Adam Rickey is the guy that we know has a lot of speed. Andy Shaner has a ton of experience in this car.
Adam Rickey is actually a lap down now. That one really comes as a surprise considering the speed he had earlier tonight.
Yeah, he was involved in, I believe, the third caution of the night, and for whatever reason, he is where he is.
Yeah. Patrick Gitter is now under pressure from Chris Lockwood for third place, and they best not look now, but the fastest car that is not a McCann the last 2 laps, that young lady right there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that line she was running, saving those tires, you know, us men,
Yeah.
we like to go out there and send it. We run hard, you know. Some of us think about tire strategy, but at the end of the day, we're chasing W's. She's been in that car, cool, calm, collected, maintaining tires, and now she's putting down fastest laps.
And she is 1 to 2 tenths of a second faster than everybody else. But in addition to that, she is within a tenth of a second a lap of the leaders, the McCann brothers, who are running literally just almost identical. Caution is out.
Oh, that's gonna make for an ending.
Yeah, we will go to a green-white checkered as Bryant DeYoung looks like he just got a little bit of a love tap there. Let's try and take a look at it from another angle. See if we can get another angle on that one.
Yeah, I'm glad it happened slow enough. We didn't collect some other cars there.
Let's try one. Let's rewind just a hair here and see, because I really think he might have gotten net coated. He did. He got net coated from the car that was behind him. Fortunately, limited damage there. I mean, there was enough space there. Somebody could stand between the cars, and he just got a little bit of net coat from, I believe, not David Trumbley, but whoever was right behind him just net coated into him as they moved up and snapped him loose.
As we say in TDR, trying to keep it realistic, there is no net code. That was a flat tire. That was a busted shock. You know.
Yep, and you know that
net code is the equivalent of mechanical failure.
This is true, and you know that just an interesting tidbit we discovered earlier tonight, that in the street stocks you can get a flat tire now.
You know, I've seen one. I've never had one.
Oh, you can go back and watch my stream earlier tonight. I've had one.
Gosh, that little bit of quote mechanical issue, that's unfortunate. I mean, I personally, I'm up here watching the race. I want to see some action. I'm kind of glad the yellow came out, but it's unfortunate that 2 cars get involved in something that's beyond the control. I hate to see that.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because James Krause and Dakota Bruff both stayed out. So they're going to be on way old tires.
Now, James Krause, again, he just signed on with Back Row Sim Racing. This guy has a lot of speed. I don't know how much speed he has with tires 30 laps on them at Kentucky.
We saw the difference in 7-lap tires earlier in the race, and it was just...
I'll tell you what he does have. Courage.
Yeah, gotta give him credit on that one. He does have a lot of courage to be out there.
Goodness gracious. And did you say Trumbley is out there with him?
No, Dakota Bruff and James Krause are the only 2 that did not come to pit road. It'll be interesting, and they're not coming to pit road. They are staying out.
Dakota has some speed too. He actually races some hobby stocks in real life. He does little figure 8 racing on the side, some of those trailer events and stuff like that. So
fun.
He's got some speed too, but as old as those tires are, this has to be a points maneuver. You're not getting the W on those tires.
No, you're really not, and I don't know that it could be a points maneuver. They're going to lose so much ground with the rest of the field having fresh tires. The only thing that they're going to be able to do is hold up the field. They are the same team, but they've got their teammates right behind them, so holding up the field does not benefit anybody.
Well, maybe the slow guy, maybe they drop low. They let their fast guys' teammates by, and they come back up and cut off the competition. I don't even know what to expect here. This is there's a lot of flame broiled hoods in that top 6, like all of them.
Yep, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, this is This is definitely something you don't see every day. I love what they've done with this TDR versus Pudge thing, the whole 15 cars versus 15 cars and scoring the drivers as such. This is going to be exciting. This is some strategy that wouldn't work in a traditional point scoring series.
No, but there's no telling how it's going to play out here tonight. James, Dakota, Brian, Kevin, and then Patrick Gitter, the top five. Kayla McCarthy comes out of pit road in seventh, still technically in fifth, with those two guys on old tires out there.
Right, you might as well. Anybody in the top 10, just go ahead and give them 2 spots, because those first 2, it's going to be checkers or records, but those 2.
And DJ Powell now back up in the top 10. He is up to 8th. Dean Webb is 9th, and Blair Patterson back up into the top 10, in 10th. Joshua King, who charged through, is in 12th. Pudge is in 13th. Steve Hutchison is in 14th.
Really good job for Caleb. One, Pudge and Nowski getting back in there. You know, he had a little bit of trouble early on getting back up there. But Blair Patterson, I'm sure the guys watching his stream right now are super excited about him getting back up into that top 10. That's huge for him with all the issues he had early on in the race.
No, definitely. And Jeremy Edwards said he's seen this before. Hold up the drivers, you say? No, that doesn't happen.
Okay, Jeremy.
And huge shout out to Aaron from XCal, both for dropping in and for the huge donation to the MS fundraiser tonight. Really appreciate XCal participating.
Absolutely. I'm going to get my money to you ASAP. Now, I'll get with you after the broadcast, but I'm glad to contribute.
Oh, thank you. It looks like lights are out on the pace car, so they will get... this is a natural green-white checkered, so we'll still have a couple of green-white checkers available if needed, with 2 guys on old tires at the front. Yeah.
If needed. Was that in air quotes?
That was in air quotes. That's when green flag drops. James Krause gets a heck of a run off the front.
Gracious.
He went as soon as he entered the restart zone on that one, and it looks like Kevin McCann on the bottom. And here comes Patrick Gitter on the bottom, 3 wide, and picks up several positions.
I do believe that boy up front sold his soul to the devil. Did you see that car go?
I think you're right. It ain't going to last, though, and he sold his... As it looks like Kevin McCann moves to first, but Krause is trying to hold on. White flag is in the air. Krause this might pay off for him.
Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. No, he's not going to be able to hold him. It's going to be 1-2 and then Pujanowski after that.
It looks like Gitter is going to hold on to third. Well, James Krause is diving back to the inside.
No way.
He loses.
Yeah.
Those tires just won't hold that bottom. He loses 2 more spots.
Into the wall.
But he still may pull off the 6th place finish here, which would be... Yes, is he? Yeah, he got it at the line. So he got 6th place at the line.
I mean, you know... we knew that wasn't going to work. We knew he wasn't going to get the W, but like you said, if he stays top 5, it's worth it. I think, being in 6th, I think that was a good call on his part.
It definitely worked out for him. And Scotty Too Hottie had a problem on the restart. Looks like he got the wall again, coming through 1 and 2, spun it, but it happened just as the white flag came out.
Oh.
Therefore, not drawing the caution or bringing out the green-white checkered.
Look at the McCann brothers. I love to hate these. Yeah. I love having them at TDR. They're a great part of the community, huge contributors to the charity. Why do they have to do the burnouts together? Just let the winning brother do it.
Because they're awesome and they've earned it pretty much.
Yeah, Andy Shaner comes by and expresses his displeasure at the absurd display of superiority.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking...
I kid.
I'm thinking about sending my my login info to the McCanns and letting them drive some races for me in the near future.
Right, just to get some SR. You want to bring... was Kevin the winner?
It was Kevin.
You want to bring Kevin in and talk to him?
Yes, let's do that.
Hey, Kevin, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on me?
Hey, yeah, how's it going?
So I was just saying it's so disgusting how you guys always do the burnouts together. Just let the winning brother have his moment. Why do you guys have to share every victory?
Oh, I don't know. You'd have to ask Brian because I win every race.
Right, he's cramping your style.
Shots fired there.
Well, if Brian had the time to, come down and mingle with the common folk over here in the broadcast booth, we'd ask him about it.
Yeah.
I have to
I don't-
ask, those restarts, the first one really, Brian got away and led early, but the subsequent restarts, it was really you getting the jump, and it was almost like Brian was letting you get out front. Did you find that you were the one better out front and he was better in the draft, or was it just a coincidental thing?
I think it just took me a little bit longer to learn the track. It's not a track I have a lot of experience with, and same thing with the ARCA car. I don't have a lot of experience with it, so it took me that whole first stint to really figure it out. Turn 3 and 4, I think that's where I was making up most of my time compared to my brother. So I would say it was just kind of a combination of me learning it and getting faster as the night went on.
It's funny you say that. Turn 3 and 4 at this track has roughly 3 degrees less banking, 3 or 4 degrees less banking than 1 and 2, and that's where most drivers struggle. So I find it very interesting, and I think it's a testament to your ability to learn a track that's where you were finding your speed. The most difficult 2 corners on this oval.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of flat tracks, so that's my specialty.
Oh, well,
Yeah, man.
in that case, can I send you my login and have you do my truck race for me this week?
We're just recruiting you for the SR.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But hey, man, Kevin, congratulations, another W. I know you're used to them, but this one's big, team versus team. I think you brought in a lot of points for TDR. You and your brother Brian as well. Can you get Brian to get on the Discord so we can interview him?
I think he had somewhere to be. He had to run off somewhere tonight.
Sure. I would love to have you both together, though. I would like to see the way you guys interact, because obviously you guys do communicate together. I've popped in on your stream and heard a little bit of it. You guys have this great dynamic. It's the family thing, it's the racing thing, and I'd like to share that with some of the people out in the streaming world.
Yeah. We're nice to each other until the last 5 laps, and then the gloves come off there. I don't know if you saw there at the end, turn 1 and 2 there on that last lap. I don't think he lifted at all, and he came out of nowhere, and he almost got to my bumper on the backstretch, and I was like, oh gosh, he's gonna move me out of the way for the win, but he didn't get it.
For the fans out there in Facebook and Twitch land, which one of you two is older?
That would be Brian.
So you're the young blood whooping up on older brother.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we're gonna call you the best until Brian shows up. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Take care, buddy. Good show tonight. All right, who else you want in here, Doug? I wanted to get Kayla in. Looks like Kayla popped out. You got Pudge. You want?
Yeah, let's get Pudge in here.
Mr. Nowski, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on me?
Yes, sir. I sure do, bud.
How you doing, man? Not the best showing for you, but I think the team did very well tonight. It's a fairly aggressive track on tires. A lot of struggles across the board on both teams. How was the race for you out there?
Man, it was pretty tough there. The start of the race, we got involved in that big wreck, and I'm proud of the way we bounced back and came back to finish, but it was a tough race, man. I think we should have probably got some more practice races in before that one and did after it. But I had a blast, as always, with you guys at TDR. Always love it.
Well, I'll tell you, as team captain, you need to bring this Gitter guy back. He was both of the hands a run for their money.
Man, he was. I was pulling for him hard, man. If you guys could have heard me, I was screaming, Bo.
It was wild out there. What do you guys? So you guys were in practice for a while. Were you involved in the practice event earlier tonight?
I sure wasn't. I got stuck in that NIS race, and I shouldn't even wasted my time in that, to be honest with you. But
I heard from Doug, Scotty Too Hottie, and a couple of the other guys. They've been practicing for a couple of hours before this event. I think a lot of that paid.
yeah, they definitely do, and that's why I'm proud of my guys, man. Every race we've done with you guys this season, we've practiced beforehand, a couple of races, and we really lean on each other for support and help. And I'm just proud of them.
Absolutely. I was saying the same thing earlier with some of the races we've had. We've had some heated contentions between the groups, and some racing deals, right? But the points being so close, I feel like both teams really came in here, put in a great effort. I didn't see a lot of that BS that we've seen on the track previously, and both of you guys did a great job out there tonight.
Amen to that, my brother. I think those days are behind us, and I'm ready to see how the rest of this season finishes out. It's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, man. How's the transition to Twitch been? You worked anything out with Facebook? You moving over there full time? Let's let everybody know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, man, definitely. So y'all know what happened on the Facebook deal. Got hacked and they disabled me. I permanently got disabled now, so I'm gonna try to make a new account, see if they'll give me back my page. But as of right now, we're an affiliate on Twitch, and we're gonna be over here full time.
Well, hey, man, as a group based on Facebook, it's hard for us to do as much promotion for you as we had in the past. But you guys go check them out. I assume it's twitch.com/Pudge Nowski.
Yes, sir, buddy. That's right.
You want to spell that for the good folks at home that live in the South?
Ferg Pudjanowski is PUDGANOWSKI, baby.
I love it, man. Always bringing that positive message. That's what racing's all about, right? Supporting each other, supporting our families. Stay blessed, man. Too blessed to be stressed. Y'all check them out, twitch.com/Pudjanowski. Have a good evening. We're going to go ahead and bring in Andy in here and see if we can't figure out who has to do the double down on that dizzy bat.
Yes, sir, buddy. I appreciate you guys. God bless.
Absolutely. All right. Pudjanowski back where he belongs. And I'm going to bring in Andy because Andy seems to be the only one that can do math on the fly.
Actually, Doug did math on the fly, and that's weird. But if my math is correct, looks like TDR came out on top tonight.
Awesome. Andy's going to love that because he hates losing. I'm going to bring him in right now, so we'll get the other team captain in here. Let me get him dialed up on the in-car radio. Andy, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on me, buddy?
Yeah, what's going on?
So we just got done talking to Pudjanowski, gave him all his plugs on his Twitch as he makes that transition from Facebook to, that new media. And I guess Doug did the math, and he's got to double down on the dizzy bat.
Yes. We were just Eric Steele was just doing the math too. I don't know how good Eric Steele's math is, but I do believe we won tonight.
I think Doug is in agreement that TDR was able to pull it out this evening.
Yeah, by my calculations, TDR got first, second, fourth, fifth, sixth, and
and last.
And last. Who was last again, Andy? I forgot.
Oh my goodness.
I wasn't gonna bring it up. I wasn't gonna.
Listen, in the last month or two, if I haven't had bad luck, I'd have no luck at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the deal was. The first caution just kind of looked like guy drove under me. Got my corner. I'm sure he didn't mean to do it, but took me out there. And then the second one, trying to avoid everybody, I just run over Blair. So
yeah,
I get sit for 8 minutes.
Yeah, we were talking about it during the race. Lack of track time too. So you and I have both been very busy with our personal lives, not racing as often. Adam Rickey, with his new home being built, is one of the drivers who hasn't been on track as much. He was a lap down, and he's someone who could give the McCanns a run for their money. Right? He's got a lot of speed, and he just just had some incidents. You had some incidents. A lot of people were having a lot of issues tonight. I think a lot of that is just not being on track as often as we spend time with our families and work over the summer here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I noticed. Well, I don't know. I find it trash. It always happens to me. So,
me too.
The other night running P2 in Indy cars, and unbeknownst to me, some guy spinning down on the apron, a slow car, and just slides up in front of me running P2. And boom, explosion. That's just
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it is what it is, but we talked to Pudge. We want to bring you in. Me and Doug were talking pre-race and during the beginning of the broadcast between back charities and Pudge and Nowski, the things we've done together for the community. Are you aware of Doug's fundraiser right now for MS?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mentioned when he put it on his stream earlier that he should do the Reaper challenge, but he said that he'd pass that.
I made Pudge and Nowski buy 8 Reapers. We have 7 available Reapers. We could ship anywhere in the country. If somebody else would just do this Reaper challenge.
I will. I tell you what.
Can you do the Reaper and then shave
Well,
after you
Ooh.
eat the Reaper?
Yes,
God.
Reaper shaving. Reaper shaving.
Well,
I like this.
that would. I'm gonna have to ponder that. That would definitely be interesting, and I haven't.
I got $20 on it. I'll throw $20 in right now if you'll do it. If you agree on air that you will do the Reaper shaving.
I'm gonna have to think on that one. That seems
No.
That seems a little bit nuts to be shaving while eating a Reaper.
If you don't say yes in the next 20 seconds, it's only a $10 donation.
Oh wow, nope, can't do it. It's just
Oh.
remember, guys, I'm older. My oldest daughter turned 30 today, so cut me some slack.
Your youngest daughter threatened me today
Yes, she did.
Oh my! Well, that's
over a chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
oh boy.
Well,
Yeah.
she's her mom and dad's kid, so
Doug's over here raising some ruffians.
I know, right?
So yeah, that's an awesome fundraiser you got going on, Doug. And, TDR is definitely gonna do its part to kind of share that out there and see if we can make sure that you hit the goal that you're looking for.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Andy. Well, I'm gonna throw you back to your team, and me and Doug will close this thing out. Good job on the W, and I can't wait to see Pujanowski doing that dizzy bat twice.
But and you do know it might be more than once, right?
Oh, I expect more than twice. I expect him to do it like 10 times.
Time limit. There's a time limit on it. You have to do it in a certain time. I think we said. I forget how.
I
fast
believe
we said-
it was 2 minutes. I believe you have to do
2
the
minutes.
dizzy bat like 10 times, and then chug the beer, and then get back to the phone.
No, you got to do the dizzy bat, run to the beer,
Yeah,
chug the beer,
yeah,
and then run back.
right. 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean, like, if he fails the first 1 or 2 times on the first go of it,
Do we have another?
we could see 6. We could see like 6.
Like, do we have another
dizzy
3-day
bat.
weekend coming up? Because I feel like this might be a 2-day challenge.
It could be a party.
He might get too drunk. might have too many beers to even be able to do the bat again.
What's funny is if you can't do it like the first or second time, I feel like after you're chugging beer, it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse.
That's the idea.
We need
Maybe-
to set a limit. 5 attempts. If you can't do it in 5 attempts, go take a nap.
You try tomorrow.
Can you imagine Pujanowski just doing the dizzy bat in perpetuity day after day until he gets it?
Wouldn't that be funny
and,
though?
then the first time he gets it, he has to do it again.
Oh.
Oh.
I just want to say I thank you guys for doing this for this series. I think it's great. Brings awareness to 2 awesome groups.
Hey man, don't thank us, man. All the thanks is up here. That was a great show tonight by both teams.
Yeah.
Lot of good driving.
Definitely.
Except for one guy.
Well, we weren't going to bring it up, but
Dang, you calling out Pudge like that? Jeez.
Oh man. Well, you did see him go flying.
Saw a couple cars go flying
he
tonight.
did catch some air.
That second one, he went for a ride. So. Just wish he
Oh.
would have gotten caught up in another one and had 8-minute repairs like me. We could have waited.
Yes, sir. Well, it is what it is, and we're on to the next race, but I'm fairly certain we're going to take the lead. Let me know when you get the points out, and we'll share it around.
All right.
All right, Andy. Take care, buddy.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Looks like all the Pudge drivers have entered the garage. I got a few TDR drivers around. I was hoping to get a hold of what was his name? Hutchinson, the fill-in.
Yeah.
You want to bring in Lockwood and Eric Steele, the team that's looking for a third member? Because honestly, I think Kayla McCarthy would be a good fit. She has a ton of speed. Women are often overlooked in the industry.
True.
Let's make the suggestion and see what happens.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm gonna bring them in. Give me just 1 second as I get them dialed up. They can hear me, but we can't hear them. And as soon as I click all the appropriate buttons and make sure that Chris Lockwood doesn't say any bad words on air, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got to read on me, fellas.
Uh-oh.
Do 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 do. Chris Lockwood, this is Tommy in the booth. You got to read on me.
He may have forgotten to log out of Discord before he took off to bed.
That might be the case. Anyway, if you're looking for a new team, try Indeed. I'm going to suggest they put a listing on Indeed.
That's a good idea.
Eric Steele, Tommy in the booth. You got to read on me? No? No read on me? Lockwood. Well, what a beautiful end to the broadcast.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that would work out, but just like oval racing, you show up and sometimes it doesn't.
That's true.
But heck of an event. Great show by these guys out there tonight, right?
Yeah, it was a wild one at times, and obviously a lot more restraint, a lot more patience, and that led to a lot better racing here tonight.
Yeah, I expected to see that with the points being close, and both teams kind of being reprimanded for some of the aggression, being a little too competitive. I think this is what we can expect to see in some of the future events.
I have to agree, and the next event 2 weeks away is. I just went blank.
Me too.
Okay.
Actually, if I remember correctly, because of the tensions, I do believe the next event was substituted for an enduro.
Oh yes, so we're going.
So some kind of fun race. I don't know the car and track, but it'll be a no damage event where they can kind of, punch each other friendly.
Well, I suggested SR8s and Pro Trucks at Laguna Seca because then you'd get to see some cars fly.
Knowing these rednecks, it's gonna be wild horse with no damage.
Well, whatever it turns out to be, it'll still be fun.
It will be. Doug, always good being in the booth with you, buddy. I appreciate it. Big shout out to How to Suck at iRacing on Facebook and Twitch. Pudge Nowski, also on Twitch, hopefully back on Facebook soon. Back Charities, BACCcharities.com. Tyler Daniels Racing at TylerDRacing.com or Tyler Daniels Racebook on Facebook. And the corporate sponsor, McConey Setup Shop. Their setups, your victories. Let's go ahead and end this thing.
All right, man. Have a good night, everybody. And congratulations once again to Kevin McCann.
Absolutely.